Hi, everybody. Today is Thursday, and we are going to be doing some gentle yoga today. Gentle yoga is a really good or a really good practice for people who are dealing with some injury or maybe some chronic pain, arthritis, just general fatigue, anything like that. If you want a nice mellow practice where we're not building up that much of a sweat, it's more just like a gentle flow to like gently open up the body and breathe, and just a much nicer, slower practice for that reason. So you're going to need for props, grab a chair. So you can see my chair back here. We're going to use that for a little bit of shoulder work. And then you're also going to need some blankets and some pillows. And if you have yoga blocks are great as well. So we're going to get started on our back in Shavasana. So you're just going to be laying in corpse pose, flat on your back, legs straight, arms straight, out open wide with your palms facing up. And we're going to start there and just work into a little bit of centering and breathing to start the class. So let me grab. Okay, we're going to start on our backs. So find yourself in a comfortable position where you're laying flat onto the mat. And again, the legs are open wide. Just laying straight onto the mat. Heels are rested on the mat, and the outer edges of your feet are just flopping down towards the mat. The arms are next to you with the palms facing up. And go ahead and close your eyes. And just start to bring some awareness to your body and your breath, and even perhaps the mat below you. Noticing if there's any areas of your body that you're feeling any sort of soreness or tightness, any sort of pain. And just making mental notes of those places in your body that maybe aren't feeling great today, and just holding on to that mental note throughout class and making sure that you're honoring those places and you're not ever getting to a point where you're making the pain worse, right? So we want to, challenge ourselves a little bit in a class, but we never want to push ourselves past the point of pain. So take this time to bring all of your awareness and all of your focus to right now, to this mat, to your breath. Not worrying about anything you have going on later this evening, if anything. Not worrying about what you have going on this weekend, what you had going on earlier today. Just bringing all of your energy, all of your awareness to your breath. And while you're here, just start to make some deeper breaths, or take some deeper breaths. So seeing if you can drag out the length of your inhales and your exhales. Maybe you count to a certain number, like 5, 6, or 7, to see how long you can drag out that breath. And when you breathe in, we're breathing in through the belly and the rib cage rather than breathing in through the throat and the chest. So see if as you breathe in, you can make space and expand through the belly, filling up air in that belly. And then as you exhale, you're pushing out that oxygen and squeezing the belly in, letting it fall down towards your spine. When we breathe normally, we're not usually breathing through the belly, we're breathing into the throat and the chest. So sometimes it can be difficult to sort of switch that breath on for an extended period of time, that belly breath. So it's a practice in just breathing as much as it is a physical practice of yoga. When we breathe through the belly, it's a much more cleansing breath. It's something that pushes our organs around. So actually the notion of that belly breath, what we're doing is we're shifting the shape of the cavities that hold. We have two different cavities that hold our organs. One, and then we have our what is it called? I can't remember the name of it, but there's the two cavities, and we have our diaphragm. Sorry, what the diaphragm is doing is pushing and pulling on the two cavities, and it's essentially, and the cavities are holding our lungs, our heart, and then the lower cavities holding our digestive organs and that sort of thing. So the diaphragm lies in between it. So when we breathe in, we're pushing up, or we're expanding the diaphragm so that the shape of our cavities are changing and shifting. And when the shape of those cavities are changing and compressing and contracting, we are actually pushing fresh blood and fresh oxygen through our organs. So that's what I mean when I say it's a very cleansing breath, because we're pushing around new energy, new blood, new oxygen through our, through our liver, through our digestive organs, through our kidneys, all of that good stuff. So it's a very cleansing breath, a detoxifying breath, if anything. So go ahead and take a nice, long, slow, deep breath here. And then as you exhale, you're going to start to draw your both knees in towards your chest. So bend your knees, pull your knees into your chest, wrap your arms around the knees. And maybe you just start to rock side to side, feeling the sacrum, feeling the low back press into the mat. And take one more deep breath in. Really pull your knees in tight into your chest. And then as you exhale, you're going to keep your grip around your right knee and then just extend your left leg straight, rest it onto the mat, heel is down. You're really just going to work on pulling that right knee in towards your the right side of your body, so in towards your armpit, your chest. And take some deep breaths in through the nose and out. Deep breath in. And deep breath out. One more breath in. And then as you exhale, with your left hand, slowly guide the right knee across your body over towards the left side of your mat. We're going to come into a twist. So keep the right shoulder planted on your mat as you draw that right knee down towards the floor on the left side of your body. So left hand is still holding that right knee. See if you can pull your right hip down towards your foot, your left foot. So finding length in the spine as we twist. If your neck allows it, you can start to turn your gaze over your right shoulder towards your right fingertips, but only if this is comfortable on your neck. And take a deep breath in and exhale out. Inhale through the nose and exhale out. Slowly return to center. That right knee comes back in towards the chest, rolling back onto your sacrum. You're going to bend the left knee, place the left foot flat onto the mat. Cross your right ankle over your left knee. We're coming into a supine figure 4. So keep the right foot flexed as you gently push your right knee forward. So if this is enough, if you're already feeling a nice deep stretch in the outer right hip, you can stay here. If you feel like you want a little bit more, pick your left foot off of the mat and start to draw your right shin and your whole leg situation in towards your chest, all while keeping that sort of pressing and that resistance from your right hand into your right knee. If you want to go a little bit further than that, you can thread your hands behind your left hamstring and pull your knees in even closer to your body. Take some deep breaths in through the nose. And big breath out. Deep breath in. And exhale out. One more time, in through the nose. Exhale, gently release the feet back down to the ground. Both feet are planted onto the mat, so you're uncrossing that right ankle. Start to draw the left knee in towards your chest and wrapping your arms around your left knee. And then just extend that right leg straight out in front of you, resting the heel onto the mat. Really pull that left knee in towards the armpit as you breathe in. Feeling the belly press into the thigh, and then as you exhale, sinking back down towards your spine. Inhale through the nose. And exhale out. One more breath in. And then as you exhale, using the right hand, start to guide the left knee across your body over towards the right, over towards the floor on the right side of your mat, and then keeping that left shoulder planted firmly onto the mat. So we're coming into this twist. See if you can pull the right or left hip down towards your right foot, towards the bottom of your mat. And then if your neck allows it, you can turn your gaze to face your left fingertips, but only if that's comfortable in your neck. And take 3 deep breaths here, in through the nose. Exhale out. Deep breath in. And deep breath out. Inhale through the nose. And then as you exhale, slowly start to roll back onto your back, keeping that left knee into your armpit. Bend the right knee, place the right foot flat on the mat. Cross the left ankle over the right knee and see if you can push that left knee forward using your left palm. Keep the left foot flexed. So you should feel something in the outer left hip. If you don't feel anything quite yet, pick up the left or right foot off of the mat and just start to draw your both knees towards your chest. If you still feel like you want a little bit more, you can thread your hands behind your right thigh and then use your elbow to push your left thigh forward. Take a deep breath in through the nose and a deep breath out. Inhale through the nose. Exhale out. Deep breath in. And then exhale, gently start to release both feet back down towards the ground. You're going to extend both legs straight out in front of you. Extend your arms up overhead and stretch yourself in opposite directions like a nice good morning stretch. And I'm yawning. Deep breath in. And then we're just going to roll onto our bellies. So roll yourself onto your belly on the mat. And you may need to adjust so that you're back onto the mat. And if you're not facing your chair, if your hands are not at your chair, turn to face that way. So we're going to be on our bellies. And then just take your hands in the number 11. So we're in Sphinx pose. So your elbows are right underneath, elbows are right underneath the shoulders, and your forearms are making a number 11. So we're in Sphinx pose. And see if you can push your pelvic bone in towards the ground, your pubic bone, and see if you can press the tops of your feet into the ground. And then see if you can pull your elbows, your forearms, and your hands, energetically drag them back towards your rib cage to see if you can pull your chest forward. See if you can broaden at the collarbones by pulling your shoulder blades together and down your back. And then take a slight tuck to the chin so that your chin is parallel with the earth. And take a deep breath in. And a deep breath out. Deep breath in. Exhale out. One more breath in. And then as you exhale, you're going to straighten your arms ever so slightly for seal pose. So this is just a little bit of a deeper variation. You may need to walk your hands out farther if it's too much initially. The farther you walk your hands out, the more mellow the stretch. So take a deep breath in through the nose and a deep breath out. One more breath in. And then as you exhale, just release back onto your forearms. Take your elbows out wide and your hands stacking on top of one another. Rest your forehead on top of your hands. Take a deep breath in here. And exhale out. Inhale through the nose. Exhale out. Take your hands next to your rib cage and just push yourself up onto hands and knees. What are you doing? You okay? You okay? So we're in tabletop position. Hold on one second. Making a bed for me, sorry. From tabletop, okay, so we're gonna sit back actually in child's pose. So take your knees out wide and your feet are touching together, your toes are touching together. Start to walk your hands out in front of you, all the way to the front of the mat, so that your chest and your elbows and your forearms are sinking down towards the mat. So forearms are rested on the mat. Maybe you get your forehead even on the mat. If you feel like you can't get your forehead down, put a pillow or a block or a blanket underneath your forehead and your chest. You can even have like a nice long pillow so that your chest is resting onto the pillow as well. If this is tough on your knees, take a blanket and place it across your calves, right up on the creases of your knees so that you have a little bit of cushion there. So we're in child's pose, let your forehead rest. And then as you breathe in, see if you can expand the back of the body and your back rib cage and create as much space in that back body as you can as you inhale. And then as you exhale, you're allowing that chest to drop further, melt further down into the mat. Deep breath in, expand through that rib cage, through the back body. And then exhale, sink and melt into the mat. One more breath in. And then as you exhale, you're just going to start to walk your hands back up towards your knees. And then you may need to take your knees together here. We're going to just sit down onto our knees for a second. So you're going to flip your palms. Actually, flip your palms so that the top of your hands are rested onto the mat. And then your fingertips are pointed back towards your knees. So we're just pedaling this for a moment to just stretch out the wrists. So bending one elbow at a time to just stretch out the wrist for a moment. And then we're going to start to walk our hands forward. We're coming back into tabletop pose. You're going to flip your palms so that your fingertips are facing the side of the mat and your wrists are facing one another towards the center of your mat. And then start to make some circles with the shoulders and the upper body so that you're sort of rotating on that wrist crease and just opening up that mobility of the wrist, warming up that part of your body that we don't often give a lot of attention to. And then, if it suits you, if this is a little bit easier for you, you can flip the palms totally backwards so that your palms are down, but your fingertips are facing your knees. And then you start to rock forward and back. So again, this is only if you feel like doing that sideways one was pretty easy for you. And then see if you can tuck your toes under and rock back and forth on your toes as well. So now we're warming up the feet, stretching the toes. And then just flip your palms back towards the front so that they're in a normal position. And then you may need a blanket under your knees for this part, so I highly recommend putting a blanket underneath your knees. You're going to start to pick up your ankles and just start to roll your ankles in a circle. So this is why I feel like the blanket under the knees might be good here, because some people might find this a little challenging to rest on the knees. And then reverse the direction of the circle. And we're gently just going to release the tops of the feet back down to the mat. And we're going to move into some cat-cows. So a cat-cow is a nice way to warm up the spine gently. So take a deep breath in with a neutral, flat spine. And a big exhale out. On your next inhale, start to drop your belly towards the mat and take your tailbone high towards the ceiling. Start to pull your chest forward and up through your shoulders. Start to pull your shoulder blades together and then tip your chin up towards the ceiling. So this is cow pose. And then as you exhale, you're going to start to take your tailbone down towards your knees, pull your belly in towards your spine, press into the palms to puff up the upper back, and take your chin into your chest. This is cat pose. As you inhale, you're going to drop your belly low down towards the mat, lift your tailbone high, lift your chest forward and up, and then take your chin up. And then as you exhale, you're going to round the upper back, pull the belly in towards the spine, take the tailbone down towards the mat, tuck your chin into your chest, rounding and curling for cat pose. And then just move through that one more time. Inhale to drop the belly low, lift the chin, lift the chest. And then as you exhale, we're rounding and curling. Inhale to come back to a neutral spine, and we're going to grab our chair. So I want you to set it up so that you have your elbows resting on the edge of the chair, and then your knees are at about a 90-degree angle. So your legs are at a 90-degree angle. You're going to take your palms together, and you're going to start to pull your body, keeping the contact point with the elbows on the chair. Start to pull your body, your hips backwards away from the chair. So we're moving back away from the chair, and at the same time, we're pressing into the palms. I want you to see if you can drop your head in between your arms. So when we do that, we're allowing the upper body and the chest to sink down towards the floor. And then you can even start to dip it lower if you feel like you can. So kind of take this pose to wherever you want. You can make this as deep as a stretch as you want, or you can just focus on sort of creating that opening in the front body. And then if you'd like, if you want to go a little bit further and get a little bit of a tricep stretch in, you can start to take your thumbs back towards your neck. So that creates a deeper, little bit of a tricep stretch in the arms. So take a deep breath and exhale out. Inhale through the nose. Exhale out. Deep breath in. And then as you exhale, you're going to start to pull your navel in towards your spine and start to come into cat pose. So you're puffing up the upper back, pulling the navel in towards the spine, and taking the tailbone down towards the heels. Start to pull your head up towards your hands, press into the palms to pull yourself out. So notice that coming out of that pose came straight from the core and from the arms here. And then the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to push the chair forward, and we're going to take our hands and place them on the edge of the chair. And you may need to walk your knees back a little bit farther here. We're going to do the same thing, but with just the hands on the chair. So start to pull your upper or your lower body away from, sorry, I thought I heard something. Pull your lower body away from the chair. Keep that connection point with your hands and just start to lower your head in between your arms. I'm gonna move my knees back even further, and then just sink your chest through down towards the mat. Take a deep breath in through the nose, and a deep breath out. Deep breath in, and exhale out.
One more breath, inhale. And exhale. And then the same thing here. We want to start to pull our navel in towards our spine. Take our tailbone down towards the floor. Puff up the upper back. Press into the palms. And then pull yourself up back. Start to walk your knees forward towards the chair. And then we're going to sit back down into our heels. So we don't need the chair anymore in class. So you can push that out of the way. Cool. So we're going to meet on hands and knees in a tabletop position. Step your right foot forward in between your hands. So again, you may need that pillow underneath your pillow or blanket underneath your knee. I'm going to turn to face you guys here. So we're in this low lunge position. Start to reach your arms up overhead and see if you can get your biceps right next to your ears. So rather than, and a nice way to be able to practice this as well is like if your shoulders are feeling like they're not open enough and you can't get them all the way back, you can take them out wider like this to get them like further back. And when you're here, see if you can draw, rather than having the shoulders really tight up into the ears, see if you can draw the shoulder blades down the back and away from the ears. So we're in this low lunge position. The other thing I want you to think about is having 90-degree angles with your legs. So you'll notice that my front knee is right over my right ankle and my left hip is right over my left knee. So rather than sinking down into this pose like this where your knee comes forward, think about coming upright and think about seeing if you can press your front hip bones forward and up. So rather than having a tilt in your pelvis this way, see if you can thrust your hips forward so you can take that tilt out of your pelvis. And when you do that, you should feel a nice deep stretch in the left quad, the left hamstring, or left hip, excuse me. So we're in this low lunge position, arms are up overhead. Take a deep breath in through your nose and a deep breath out. Slowly start to walk your right foot out towards the right side of your mat. And you're going to eventually bring it to straight out next to you with the toes facing forward. So our foot is sort of at this angle with our toes facing forward. Clasp your hands together and just release the thumb and the pointer fingers like finger guns. And take a deep breath in. Start to reach the pointer fingers up towards the ceiling. And then as you exhale, you're going to tip your fingers over towards your right extended leg. So take a deep breath in through the nose and a deep breath out. Deep breath in. Exhale out. Inhale, come back up to center. You're going to release the arms out wide like a T. And then you're going to start to take that left foot and that left, the bottom of your left leg, so your shin from your knee to your ankle, you're going to angle it out towards your left, your extended leg. So rather than coming right behind you, you're just going to angle that leg in towards the extended leg. So arms are straight out into a T. We're essentially coming into warrior T, but we're on our left knee instead of our left foot. Turn your gaze towards your left fingertips. See if you can pull your belly in towards your spine, drop your shoulder blades down your back, and then see if you can push your hips forward. So like your front hip bones, we want to see if we can push our hips forward and take our tailbone down towards the mat. Take a deep breath in through the nose and a deep breath out. In through the nose. And then as you exhale, you're going to start to reach the left arm up towards the ceiling and rest that left or that right palm onto your thigh or to your quad. So we're reversing this warrior two variation. So you should feel a nice deep opening in that left side body. Take a deep breath in. See if you can look up towards the ceiling. Exhale out. Inhale through the nose. And then as you exhale, you're going to start to tip forward, come back to that warrior two variation. Arms are straight out in front of you. And then you're going to start to, like somebody's grabbing onto your hand, but your lower body stays as is. Start to reach your upper body forward like somebody's literally grabbing you and pulling you from your left hand, and then tip your arms like a clock to 6 and 12. You may need a block or something to rest your hand on. I'm definitely going to grab that here. And so essentially when we're in this modified side angle position, I don't want you to crunch down towards the mat, right? So notice how my left obliques are crunched in. I want you to maintain that long, like a long straight upper body by placing something underneath your hand to raise the ground up so that you have a longer, straighter torso. So right arm is overhead, left arm is planted onto a block. And again, we want to see if we can take our tailbone down towards our right heel and pull our front hip bones up towards our shoulders. So we're trying to maintain a strong core here. Take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. One more breath in. And then as you exhale, you're going to plant your right palm down onto the mat. Release that right heel up. So now we are facing the other side of our mat, right? We're facing backwards. Drop your left knee down and place it right next to the right knee. And then you're just going to step your left foot forward. So now we're in this lunging position on the other side. So the right or the left foot should be forward, right knee should be down. Arms come up overhead in our lunging position. See if you can get your front hip bones thrusting forward, pushing forward and up towards your shoulders. See if you can move the shoulder blades away from the ears. 90-degree angles with your front leg and your back leg. Take a deep breath in through the nose and a deep breath out. One more breath in. And then as you exhale, you're going to start to walk that left foot out towards the left side of your mat, straightening the leg and then angling the foot so that your toes are facing forward. Clasp your hands and just release the thumb and the pointer finger so you have those steeple grip of the finger guns. And then again, we want to see if we can push those front hip bones towards the front of the room and taking our tailbone down towards our heels. As you inhale, reach your arms even higher. And then as you exhale, just tip over towards that extended leg to the left. So you should feel a nice stretch in the right side body here. Take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. One more breath in. And then as you exhale, slowly start to return to center. Take your arms out wide like a T. We're going to come into that warrior two variation on the other side. So take the bottom of your left leg from your knee to your ankle and angle it towards your left extended leg. So, and then we want to see if we can have our, rather than tipping like forward this way, see if you can stack the shoulders right above your hip bones. So arms are open out wide, gaze is forward. And then see if you can take your tailbone again down towards the floor. Belly is pulling in towards the spine. Take another deep breath in. And as you exhale, flip your right palm and start to reach up towards the ceiling with your left palm resting on your left quad or your left thigh, not on your knee. So reach up and over for reversing that warrior. Take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. One more breath in. And then as you exhale, gently start coming back to arms out wide like a T, that warrior two variation. And then like somebody has a grip on your right hand, and you may need that prop, you're going to start to reach forward with your upper body and then place the right palm onto a prop or onto the floor so that you can maintain that long, straight torso. So rather than being crunched down to the floor like this, notice that my spine is curved here. I'm using the block to raise the ground up so that I can have a nice long torso on the inside. Left arm comes overhead. And again, we want to see if we can pull our hip bones up towards our shoulders, tailbone towards that left extended heel. See if you can roll the shoulders and the chest open towards the ceiling. Take one more deep breath in through the nose. And a deep breath out. Deep breath in. And deep breath out. Very gently start to plant that left palm onto the mat. Release that left heel. You're turning your hips towards the front of the room. Take your left knee, just place it right next to your right knee. And then step your right foot forward. So we're gonna do this on the other, we're gonna do this one more time on each side. So we're coming into that high lunge position. Take a deep breath in high lunge. And then as you exhale, start to walk your foot out, your right foot out towards the right side, straightening the right leg. And our foot wants to be parallel to our right knee also. So we want that front foot, toes facing forward. Arch of the front foot is in line with the left knee. Clasp your hands, release the pointer finger and the thumb. Take a deep breath in and reach up. And then as you exhale, tip over towards the right, towards that extended leg. Deep breath in and deep breath out. One more breath in. And then as you exhale, start to return to center, arms come out wide like a T. Angle that left leg in towards the right leg. And then you're gonna turn your gaze towards your left fingertips for this warrior two variation. Take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. Start to place or flip the left palm and start to reach up and overhead to reverse that warrior two. Left or right palm is resting onto your right quad or your right calf. Take a deep breath. Exhale out. Inhale through the nose. And then as you exhale, we're returning back to warrior two with the arms open wide. Take a deep breath in and grab your prop. And then we're going to start to reach our upper body and our arms forward and then just tip our arms into that 6 o'clock and 12 o'clock position. So left palm should be rested onto a block or on the mat if you can maintain that straight spine. Take a deep breath in and deep breath out. One more breath in. And then as you exhale, plant your right palm down onto the mat, release that right heel, and then just turn your hips to face the floor. You're going to take your right knee next to your left, and then just step that left foot forward. So we're in a low lunge with the left foot forward, right knee down. Arms come up overhead. Take a deep breath in and exhale out. Start to walk that left foot towards the left side of your left side of the room. Straightening the leg completely, lining up the foot, the arch of the left foot to the right knee. Toes are facing forward. Clasp your hands, release the pointer finger and the thumb. Push your hips forward and take your tailbone down towards your heels. As you inhale, reach your arms up towards the ceiling. And then as you exhale, you're going to tip over towards the left. Take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. Deep breath in through the nose. And then as you exhale, gently start to come back to center. Open up your arms out wide like a T, palms facing down. Start to angle that right leg, the bottom of the right leg, in towards the left extended leg. And then turn your gaze forward over your right fingertips. Take a deep breath in. See if you can pull your navel in towards your spine. Take your tailbone down towards the floor. Exhale out. Inhale, flip the right palm and start to reach up and overhead, taking the left palm to the calf or to your quad on the right leg, left leg, excuse me. Take a deep breath in and exhale out. Inhale to reach a little higher. And then as you exhale, we're going to return to that warrior two.
And then grabbing the prop, placing it at the front of your mat, you're going to start to reach your upper body forward and then tip your arms to 6 o'clock and 12 o'clock. So one thing about in a side angle position, we have a tendency to sink into the shoulder. So we're like this. Press into the palm to come out of the shoulder to use the strength of your arm, right? So this is how we build arm strength. So we don't want to sink into that shoulder. Again, we want to push into the hand and rotate the bicep towards the front of the room and your tricep towards your body. Take a deep breath in. See if you can pull your tailbone down towards your left heel and front hip bones up towards your shoulders. And then as you exhale, you're going to frame the left, or you're going to place that left palm down onto the mat. Release the left toes. And then from here, we're going to take our left knee to meet our right. You can remove, if you have a pillow or a blanket, remove that from under your knees. We're just going to take child's pose one more time. So take your knees out wide, toes to touch. If you need any props here to get into this, set yourself up. So allow the whole front body to sink down. Maybe you start to roll your forehead across the floor or the pillow or the blanket, whatever it's resting on. Just start to rock and roll your forehead side to side, sort of like you're massaging the forehead. Or in yoga land, you're massaging the third eye chakra, allowing free-flowing thinking, allowing yourself to have an honest opinion about yourself and others around you. And an open mind towards all that is happening right now and all that could happen in the future. And just gently come back to stillness. Take a deep breath in through your nose. And then as you exhale, start to walk your hands back towards your knees. And then you're just going to take your knees together and then sit your hips off to one side to swing your legs around towards the front of the mat. We're going to open up our legs wide. One second. We're going to open up our legs wide. And this is again, somewhere where I actually encourage you to have a pillow and place it underneath your sit bones. So you're going to take your legs sort of out wide like this. And how wide you want to go is totally up to you. We'll probably just go a little bit wider. But it's totally up to you. It could look like this. It could look like this. It could look like this. You could have your full split. I don't know how flexible you are, but we're going to take our legs out wide like this. Start to bend that right knee and take the sole of your right foot and place it on the inside of your thigh. So we're coming into this half lotus, half butterfly, however you want to call it. And then take your arms up overhead, clasp your hands together, release the thumb and the forefinger. Again, we're just going to start to tip over towards that extended leg. And then up to you here, you can grab the ankle and keep that right arm up. If you would like to drop the forearm down, you can do that as well. But we're just reaching the right arm up and over. See if you can spin your chest and your right shoulder open towards the ceiling. So we're trying to, you should feel like a nice stretch in the back, the right back side here. The right side of your back, lower back, and some of those hip muscles as well as hip ligaments. So take a deep breath here. Exhale out. Deep breath in. And then as you exhale, you're going to slowly come back towards center. Release that right arm down towards the ground. And then start to bend into that left knee. You're going to extend the right leg to the side and then take the left sole of the left foot towards the inner right thigh. So we're coming to that half lotus or half butterfly once again. So arms come up overhead as you inhale. And as you exhale, we're just going to tip towards that right extended leg. You can rest your right palm onto your
ankle and just reach that left arm up and over. See if you can spin your chest and your left shoulder open up towards the ceiling. Maybe your gaze follows up towards your hand, left hand. Deep breath in through the nose. Deep breath out. Deep breath in. Exhale out. One more breath, inhale. And then as you exhale, you're gently going to start to come back up to center. And this time we're going to take the soles of our feet together in a butterfly position. So soles of the feet together, and this is where that pillow is really nice. So it just kind of helps guide the body into this position. So if this is enough for you right here, like this, when I first started practicing, was like plenty of an inner thigh stretch for me. If you feel like this is enough, just stay here and just hold on to your ankles. If you feel like you go a little bit deeper, you can always fold forward, grabbing the feet and taking your knees into your elbows into your knees and just folding into this position. So it's totally up to you where you want to take this. Take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. One more breath in. And then as you exhale, slowly start to rise. You're going to take the left knee, and you're going to turn your knee in towards your right leg. So I'm essentially putting the left knee down onto the mat with the left foot and the left, sorry, I'm having a really hard time describing this. You're turning your left knee in towards the sole of your right foot. You're placing the sole of your right foot on top of your knee. So essentially our knees are facing the same direction versus when we were in butterfly when they were facing the opposite direction. So this is just to counteract a lot of that external rotation that we just did with our hips in butterfly and that half lotus or half butterfly. So take a deep breath in here. And a deep exhale breath out. One more breath in. And then as you exhale, you're going to take both soles of your feet flat onto the mat. Just walk your feet forward. And then you're just going to do this on the other side. So drop that left knee down towards the mat. Outer edge of the left foot down. And then you're going to take the right knee, place it right next to the sole of your left foot. Inner edge of the right foot is down. So both knees are facing the left this time. Take a deep breath in through the nose. And a big breath out. Deep breath in. Exhale out. Inhale through the nose. And then as you exhale, you're going to take both soles of the feet flat onto the mat. And then you're just going to come to seated with your legs straight out in front of you. And keep that pillow underneath your sit bones here. So your legs are going to be straight out in front of you. And I actually recommend sort of wiggling your heels forward so that your pelvis and your upper body is already sort of tilted forward. So if you notice, I'll take the pillow away to show you the difference. So right now my body is sort of up, but my pelvis is tilted backwards, right? So I'm like sort of crunching over here, and it's kind of hard for me to reach down. So to allow ourselves to get into a safer fold, we place a pillow right underneath our sit bones. It's adjusted, right? And then you can already sort of feel your body shifting forward. But if you push your heels forward and sort of wiggle onto the bottoms of your sit bones, now you can already feel that tilt forward. Now you can see my upper body is already tilted forward and not like this. So I'm already sort of in this position by having the sit bones onto the pillow. And I'm going to reach my arms up and overhead. So take a deep breath in here with your arms up. And a deep breath out. On your next inhale, I want you to think about reaching up and then forward. So inhale up and then start to tip forward. You can keep a nice bend into the knees here.
we want to think about reaching our arms and our sternum forward towards the front of the room. So reach, 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 reach all the way down until you can finally grab onto your knees, your shins, your ankles, wherever you can grab onto. Allow your body to sink forward into this nice forward fold. And we're going to hold here for a little while. If you're feeling like this is really, really difficult for you, stack some pillows and place it on top of your thighs, right? So just create some cushion so that you're not working so hard to fold forward. Take some deep breaths here. It's really, really important that we breathe in this pose. Couple more breaths here. And then very gently, on your next inhale breath, you're going to start to walk your hands up your legs, back towards a seated position. So for our final few poses, we're going to be down on our backs, and I want you to grab some pillows. If you have yoga blocks, grab your yoga blocks. And we're going to lay all the way down on our bellies with our knees bent, soles of our feet flat onto the mat. So I want you to take your feet hips width distance apart and then scoot your tailbone towards your heels. So I'm scooting my tailbone towards my heels so that when I reach down, I want you to see if you can reach down with your fingertips and graze your heels, okay? And then you're going to take a block or a pillow, whatever you've got. Ideally, the pillow is firm, or maybe you stack some pillows. And you're going to press into the feet to lift the hips off of the mat. And you're going to slide that pillow or pillows or block underneath your sacrum. So it is not your low back. It is not your tailbone. It's right in between. It's that bony part of your butt, like sort of above your butt cheeks, but below the lumbar spine. And then take your arms out wide with the palms facing up. So we're in supported bridge pose. So this is a nice gentle inversion. And then I want you to think about picking your shoulder blades up off of the mat and pulling them together underneath you so that you're resting more on your shoulders than you are on your cervical spine. So I don't want your cervical spine to be pressing into the mat. I want you to think about pulling the shoulder blades together so that you're resting more onto the upper shoulders and your triceps and your delts. Just enjoy this gentle inversion. So an inversion is any time where your hips are above your head. I'm sorry, hips are above your heart. So even though we're not fully inverted here, but in like a headstand or hands, whatever, we are still inverted and we are still getting all of those benefits of inversions. And just allow your body to relax here. This should feel pretty good on the spine and the low back. Continuing to take those deep breaths. And then very gently, you're going to bring your awareness back to the soles of your feet. So maybe wiggle your toes a little bit. Just feel that earth support you. Feel the mat underneath your feet.
And then you're going to press into the feet, press the feet into the mat, and use your quads and your glutes and your feet to lift your hips up off of those pillows or that block and just remove that out of the way. Keep your hips lifted, and then we're very, 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 very slowly going to lower all the way back down to our back. Really take your time here. One vertebra at a time. Tailbone is last. And then you're going to take your knees into your chest. Actually, take your knees up at sort of this 90-degree angle at a tabletop position. Open your arms out wide like a T. And you're just going to drop your knees towards the left. See if you can keep both shoulders planted on the mat. If you find that your right shoulder your knees are all the way down and your right shoulder is totally lifted off of the mat, place a pillow or a couple pillows underneath your knees so that you can keep that shoulder down. We're just going to hold in this twist for some nice deep breaths. You might even feel a little bit of a stretch in the outer right glute here as well, depending on how your body is. So find those deep breaths. Take one more deep breath in. And then as you exhale, gently start to bring your knees back towards center. Soles of the feet are rested on the mat. Take a deep breath in. And a big exhale out. Inhale to take your knees back up to floating. So you're in that sort of tabletop position again. And then just drop your knees towards the right. This time, keeping that left shoulder planted onto the mat. If you're finding that your left shoulder is lifting up, place a pillow underneath your knees. And then if your gaze allows it, turning to face the left fingertips. Or your neck, your neck allows it. And stay for some nice deep breaths. A few more deep breaths here. Last breath, inhale. And then as you exhale, start to bring your knees back to center. This time, straightening the legs. We're coming into our final resting pose, Shavasana. If you feel like your low back is sort of tight here when you first straighten out your legs, just place two pillows underneath your thighs, both your thighs. So I'll show you the block. Just place that pillow or that block underneath your hamstrings, your thighs. And that should be a nice little release for the low back. And then the same sort of thing here, we want to pick our shoulder blades up and pull them together underneath us. And see if you can pick your tailbone up off of the ground and pull it down towards your heels so that your sacrum is more rested onto the mat. And go ahead and close your eyes. And just allow yourself to fully enjoy these last nourishing minutes of Shavasana, of a peaceful practice. Have some quiet time. And really some time to yourself. So this is really a time to look inward and nourish whatever your body is asking for. Paying attention to every little thing that it's telling you. Just mentally scanning the body and noticing if there's any areas where you're sort of gripping or squeezing or tensing. Just let those parts of the body relax, let them go. Release that gripping or that tension. Just allow your jaw to become slack and relaxed. Lips are slightly parted. Remove the tongue from the roof of your mouth and just let it settle in the back of your throat. And remove the crease from your brow. And just take these last few minutes of class to fully relax. You stay here as long as you'd like, at least 5 minutes. I'm just going to mute the video and shut off the camera, but again, just stay here for as long as you want. And thank you for joining me.